Well, I just come down here to do some maintenance to Discbine. I'm down to my cousin's, and if anybody watched my videos from the spring picking up hay, this is a place, oh, probably four or 5 miles away. Got the driveway. It's like 3/10 of a mile I drove up to get up here. You know, from the road that way to the back edge of that field, it's probably close to a mile. I mean, it's way back in here, back in the woods. But this is the ground. Hey, I didn't get mowed last year. Can never get down here. Never got dry enough wet. Well, what little dry weather we had. By the time I got stuff done up home, didn't have time to get down here, monkey around. So this has 2018 and 2019's hay in there. My plan was to come down here this spring, April, early May, mow this off, bale off the dead stuff for bedding so I could get that regrowth and maybe get some hay down here this year. But well, everybody knows what spring we had. Could never get down here either, so it just took over again this year. So I got to get it off or else I'll never get a crop down here next year. And you can see here, it's always had weedy in it, but since I didn't get cut last year, that's all goldenrod right there. So right now I'm hoping, a lot of this is I'm going to bale it for bedding. Now stuff like this, depends how many bales I get. That's cleaner stuff down there. I'm going to bale that first. You know, get X amount of bales. I haven't decided what I want to bale yet, but whatever's left. You know, this might be baled. If not, it's going to get chopped back on the ground. And then maybe in a week or so here, because I got to get ready to spray that Sprint yet. Get this off, get a little bit of regrowth. I can come down here and spray these hay fields too. I'll try to kill some of this out. But what I came down here today for was to work on this. Just to grease it up, and I got one little problem here. When I was mowing this the other day, my cutter head kept drifting to the left. It's got a hydraulic fold. So I'd be mowing along there, and all of a sudden I'm way out here. I've got to crowd more to the left so I'm not leaving streaks. And I'd have to hit the hydraulics and pull it back over to the left a little bit. And I had to do that several times and couldn't figure out what the hell's going on. Well, when I went to go home and I unhooked it here, well, once I got off the tractor and I could see oil kind of back, but I didn't see nothing dripping. I could see like spatter marks, like oil had been flying around, like it had been dripping on the PTO shaft or something. But I couldn't find nothing dripping or leaking real bad. And then when I went to unhook this, now this one is for your pickup head. It's only a single acting cylinder. And this one will, when you pick this up, it's got a hydraulic tilt to it. And it'll bring the head up and then it'll pick the machine up. And then when you lower it, drops, and then the head will tilt down. There's 3 settings on there to how much it'll tilt. And so that's all acting off this one. Nope. These two work the cylinder to fold it. It's a double acting cylinder, so you gotta have 2 hoses. Well, when I went to pull this one out of the tractor, that was loose. I don't know how the hell that loosened up. So that had been leaking, dripping. So yesterday, I went to use the tractor, checked everything. I put over 3.5 gallons of oil in the rear end of that tractor. I don't know how much longer. I mean, it's got 15 gallons of oil in the rear end, but I don't know how much more I could have leaked out before I started having a major catastrophe. But that had to have been loose from the factory, because I've never taken these fittings apart or anything. But I bought this in 2007, brand new. I can't believe it would take 12 years for that to loosen up like that, or that it even come loose. And it had been snugged up somewhat. And I don't know, maybe even, I don't even know if the factory even puts the tips on them. I think the dealer usually does. At least they did years ago, because everybody had different, you know, you had Internationals, John Deere's, everybody had their own couplers. And now everything in the industry is pretty much standard, these Pioneer style ones, but yeah, couldn't believe that. So come down here, tighten that up. And they say it just needs greased up, check the blades in it. They're probably getting dull, but I don't want to flip them or change them until I'm ready to do second crop. Like this stuff, yeah, it takes a little more power maybe to cut it, but this stuff don't matter how clean of a cut it is. So, and then while the other day I was down here, let's say today's Wednesday, I mowed this on Monday. Sunday I was playing around with this over here. Planted sorghum Sudan grass. It's gonna be a rough field. I didn't. This was plowed last spring. Never could get back down here, like I say. And it had grown up quite a bit of weeds. So I just come down here. I disced this probably 4 or 5 times. It didn't come out here too bad. It's gonna be a little bit rough. It pissing me off. I didn't get back down here to pick up these rocks. So I'm gonna get a drier day here. Come down here with a 4-wheeler and ride up and down the field here and pick them up. Because I really wanted to get the column mulcher over it. I didn't get that done, so. But being Sudan grass, I'll be mowing it higher anyhow, because hopefully this will be ready to cut first part of September. Maybe I can get this off and then hit it with a shot of fertilizer. Maybe I can get another cutting here by the beginning to middle of October. Hopefully get a little bit later frost, or it's about when we've been getting the frost the last couple of years. What pissed me off is only going to be about 2/3 of a field. The damn, well, the adjustment on my seed cups, I couldn't cut it down far enough. I needed to go down like 1 or 2 more marks, and just there's enough gunk built up in them splines. I couldn't get it down there, and it took a little more seed than I anticipated. And I don't know if it's just because everybody's planting it this year that there's a shortage, or whether because of lack of farmers, nobody wants to order anything in. The mill where I got this seed said they had 8 or 10 more bags coming. That was last week. I called them, they never got any. I called 3 other places and they don't have any. So I said to hell with it. It's going to be what it's going to be. I would like to had another, probably been about another 2 acres here, 2.5. But I got this here, and then I got, well, I planted 9 bags, so I got this here, and I got around 5 acres up home. So I mean, got a fair amount in, but I would like to add more. But I say, you just can't. Things just ain't going right. I don't know what the. There's just no service in this industry anymore. I called the one equipment dealer here the other day. The local one. I had a hole ripped in one of the milker inflations and didn't have an extra set around. The dealer I normally get them off over in central Ohio somewhere, and I'm not driving clear over there to get it. Oh, well, I'll call the local guy. He's always trying to sell me stuff. The milker shells I got are one of the most common ones, but they got round ones, triangular ones, and square ones that company sells, and they didn't have a single set to fit the shells I have. And I don't know why. I come down to this field here. Now this, where the hell's the dead furrow? It's probably about in here. It's probably one of these 2 windrows about the edge of this field. Now we can see where I mowed right over there. It hooks around. Whatever's kind of on the yellowish side, that's how far the field goes. The real green stuff on the far end, that's all goldenrod. I don't go back that far. I don't know if it's wet back there or not, but this is where my cousins always had it worked out too, so that's how far I work. But this was a field we mainly seeded down canary grass. My dad did. My dad's been dead since '93. So that's how long this has been canary grass. And yeah, it gets rutted up over the years and gets rough. So 2 years ago I plowed this up about this time. Yeah, because it was the end of August when I seeded it. I seeded sprinting here and that piece over there 2 years ago. But I didn't underseed this with nothing. And like I said, I never got down here last year, so this grew up. And yeah, there's some goldenrod, but this is fairly clean canary grass in here, and I didn't seed nothing in this. And it goes, well, I ain't quite to where I haven't mowed yet, but this is all volunteered, come in. Which is fine with me, saves me the hassle plowing this up again. I mean, if this keeps coming in like this, you know, give it a couple shots of fertilizer here early next, you know, at least one next spring, get in here and mow it, you know, it'll thicken up. But this is definitely what I'm going to bale up for bedding. This will make decent bedding, and that there, the problem is that gets rough over there too, but that was my plan, like to plow a strip 1 year here, and then another strip down there, and then another strip, and get this reworked up and reseeded and get them ruts out of here. But I just can't believe how well that canary grass came in there. See, it makes good feed if you get it cut early, but when it gets this stemmy, it's worthless. Cows don't want it. So, but I guess I'll get up there, get that thing set up, and go home to get something else done. I gotta get my brush hog back together. I gotta change a manure spreader apron yet. Haven't got time to do that. Gotta put a beater in the one silage wagon. I mean, I got hay ready to cut the chop. I can get chopper ready. Pissed me off that rain is finally getting dry enough where I normally put my silo bags. I probably could have got it worked up a little bit and somewhat leveled out, which I got to get done before I can start chopping. I mean, that's just non-stop. But so I guess get this done before it starts raining again. The only thing I hope we get enough dry weather. They got rain. Today's Wednesday. They got rain Thursday, and then they got 4 good days after that. I'm kind of hoping they're good drying days. I really don't want to come down here and head this all out. That's why I kind of windrowed this. I mean, it's dead ripe enough. I figure if I can windrow it tight enough to bale, let it set for 3-4 days, it would steam out quite a bit of that mushroom. I mean, to be a little bit, but I don't give a shit if it's for bedding. It gets a little musty. So I don't know if it'll dry out enough or not. I mean, worst comes to worst, I come over down here and rake it over, but like I say, a lot of these could be doubled up. I could come down here, work my way down, rake this one over, and then come back and rake the other one on top of it. You know, this one will have time to air out some. I still got a little bit of mowing here. Like I say, I got that there. And on the other side is Sudan grass. Yeah, probably another 5 acres, 6 acres over there I got mowed down. But that's real weedy over there. I'm gonna have to plow that up somehow next year. That's what I wanted to do. I was thinking about, instead of plowing the field I did up home, I was going to come down here and plow that and plant this all Sudan grass. But I'd have to come down here and at least brush hog it or something so I could plow it. Where up home I already had the hay off the field, so I plowed that one up instead. That was getting some pretty good woodchuck mounds in it. It had to be something done with, so as long as I don't get a wet fall, because that field up home got some springs in it, you know. Be hard to get in, but yeah, I guess. Another one of my 5 minutes videos has become almost 15, so I'll share this a little bit, though. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch up with you later.